Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly show. I hope you are having a fantastic start to your month. This is the first Monday in March. We are entering the final quarter of the final month of Q1, and I hope that you are feeling on track towards reaching your goals. This is a very important month because it's an opportunity for you to be able to say, am I doing what I need to do to reach my goals? Hopefully, you have set some goals, not just for 2024, but also for your entire quarter set. So, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, what are you trying to accomplish this first quarter of the year to set the tone for what you want to be able to build, not just financially, but hopefully in your other sides, in your life, in your personal life, in your wellness, in your financial management, in your relationships. My goal for you is that if you are in my world, you are actively pursuing reaching something next level, and you're in a constant state of growth and evolution. And today I want to come in and share with you some of the strategies that will help you diversify your perspective around creating a solid income stream as a musician. Because I think one of the ways in which you will be able to feel empowered in the work you're doing creatively is knowing that you have a plan that will allow you to create multiple ways of earning a living where you're not only tied to what you want to do creatively, but also you have ways of bringing in revenue that allow you to monetize the knowledge that you've built over your entire life, and monetize in new ways what you had perhaps up until this point thought was the only way you could earn money. So if you are like most musicians, chances are you have always thought that in order for you to earn money, you need to get paid to perform, you need to get paid to teach one on one, you need to travel to people's homes, or you need to be teaching one on one. And you're basically always involved physically in producing that income. So whether you are releasing music, whether you're producing, whether you are touring, or perhaps you have a thriving studio, chances are right now your income depends on you being on a certain day and time, and delivering that service, so to speak, right? Say hello in the chat, by the way, if you are watching me live. I would love to know where you right now get most of your income. Is it through your teaching? Is it through your performing? Is it through a combination of maybe a side job that you have, something administratively perhaps? Where do you currently bring in the bulk of your income? I'd love to know, so that we can hopefully complement with today's training a different perspective on how you can create income in a variety of ways and not just the way you were doing it so far. So, if you are new to my world, welcome. I am Fabiana Claure. I'm a pianist and a business strategist for musicians. And I really believe that musicians deserve to create lives where they're no longer trading their time and they're able to monetize the knowledge that they've built inside and outside of music and give people access to their knowledge instead of their time. And everything that I do, everything that I stand for is about building a way where musicians can free themselves from having to be the bottlenecks of their business, where musicians can step away from their business if they need to, and the business can continue running. If they want to travel, that their business doesn't need to restart all over again because they relocated to a new location, that they have the freedom to move, they have the freedom to step away from their business if they need to temporarily. They have a way to delegate the assets of their business and build a legacy for their family that lives on beyond their time. Then they're able to now document and monetize their intellectual property instead of having to always be the service providers, the ones that are there day in and day out with their students. So say yes if you want to be able to continue growing in this way, and perhaps find now a way where you can monetize your knowledge and not have to continue trading your time anymore in the way you work. So let's talk about some of these additional income streams that will hopefully give you a better outlook into how you can do this in your business, right? So the way you're going to diversify your income streams and build multiple ways of generating revenue is not only by depending on the income you bring from your performances or from your teaching, in a one-to-one fashion, if you're like most music teachers, but now it's about building a way where people can access a library of materials, a library of trainings, a way where they can now access your experience, but not just a set of pre-recorded materials that are going to give people access to your knowledge, but also a way in which they can still access your expertise in a customized way, but doing it in a leveraged model where you now can do master classes, where you now can have people come in for like a live group Q&A session, and you can still offer that, tailored approach, that personalization, without needing people to be directly in front of you on a one-on-one basis, or without you needing to step away from your family, travel, get on a plane, and always be on stage in order to earn. All of those normal traditional income streams are the way most musicians have built their livelihoods, but unfortunately there is a limit in that type of model. And I want you to see this with me today, because this awareness is the first solution. If you know what you're doing wrong, you're going to be able to start making changes. So let's talk about, the elephant in the room, which is the fact that the traditional models that musicians have built their businesses, depending on gigging, depending on one-on-one performing, on one-on-one teaching, etc., are always going to keep you capped. Why? Because if you're physically like not there, if you're not able to presently do what you need to do, then you just don't have a way of earning. If you're not physically on stage, then you cannot earn. If you don't travel to the gig, you cannot earn. If you're not directly in front of your student, you cannot earn money. And that is not a sustainable way of living. That is always going to keep you stuck. You're going to hit an income ceiling, whether you like it or not. And even if you're very successful and you're able to get your, let's say, calendar booked of performances, you are booked solid for the rest of 2024. Chances are that's going to come at a price. You're going to pay a price to have that type of busyness in your schedule, which is you're going to give your time away. And when you give your time away, you have no more availability to grow your income. Do you see how that is limiting? If you're teaching one-on-one lessons, if you have 40, 50 students, yes, you may consider yourself successful, quote unquote, but at the same time, you're also very compromised. Your time is totally committed. It's taken from you. And so that is not a viable model that musicians need to continue building their businesses anymore. In this day and age, you can now shift those traditional income streams. You can continue doing those if you want to, but you don't have to depend on those. There's a difference between having to do one-on-one things because your income relies on that, having to do performances and gigging because your income relies on that. There's a difference between needing to do those traditional models versus wanting to do them for the sake of you just keeping your artistry alive and keeping that activity that builds credibility in your audience, that helps you reinforce your brand. It's fine for you to do those things, but you need to have a different income stream that gives you that financial stability. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I think this is going to help you awaken to the opportunities that exist when you are no longer trading your time in the way you work. So yes, most musicians work in this traditional way where it's teaching one-on-one or performing. And although there's some income to be had, yes, there is a way where you can create income. It comes at the expense of giving your time away. Right. So if you want to build an income stream that does not require you to give more of your time every time you grow, then you need to start looking into other models. And let's talk about those other models. The models that are available through online education can now give musicians a completely different platform of financial growth when you learn how to shift what you're doing into now teaching through what you've done. Right? If you can shift what you are doing to now creating a business that teaches what you've done and helps people get results as a result of your knowledge, not because of what you are doing for them, now you have unlocked a completely new income stream where, as I said before, there are many ways that this is done, right? And when working with our clients, we customize this for each and every one of them very specifically. It is not a one size fits all type of thing. There are many shades of gray, if you know what I mean. But at the very, very basic core level, what I want you to take from this session is that when you can remove yourself from being the bottleneck of your business, and you no longer have to be the one showing up to the gigs, showing up to the students' houses, or showing up to your Zoom room or to your practice room, having to be physically there for your students to get results. And instead, you can create an online business that can monetize your knowledge, that can show you how you can transfer everything you've learned, whether it's related to music or whether it's related to performance anxiety, whether it's related to auditioning, whether it's related to career development, you name it, anything that you know, which if you're watching this and you're joining my stream today, chances are you have a level of expertise in something, right? You're a thought leader, you're looking for information, you're growing, you're trying to advance your education. This is why you're watching this. So this is the reason why I know you can do this, is because you wouldn't be here if that's not the case. You have some knowledge right now. You have people who can benefit from that knowledge. You're just delivering it in the wrong model. And so let's talk about the additional streams that you can use to create more revenue in your music business and not have to give your time away, right? Because again, the catch here is not just how to make more money. You need to start asking yourself better questions. You cannot simply say, how can I make more money in my business? Because that's going to lead you to an incomplete answer. If you ask yourself, how can I make more money? Chances are you're going to want to double down on what you were doing before. You're going to want to double down on more students, more performances, more of the same. And can you see how that's going to trap you in the model of trading your time? So instead of asking yourself, how can I make more money? You need to be asking yourself better quality questions that will lead to better quality answers, which is, how can I create more income streams without having to give more of my time away? Now, that's a better question that would get you a better answer, right? And so I hope that you're starting to experience a little bit of a breakthrough as you're watching this, because once again, the reason why I'm so passionate about helping musicians be able not just to create income, but also to do it in a way that doesn't give their time up, is because that is the only way that you'll be able to create something that is sustainable, that will avoid you getting into a place of burnout. Right? Let's talk about that for a second. Why are so many musicians frustrated, and sometimes they have to switch careers altogether to a different income stream, get a side job, a day job, etc.? It's because the model will eventually put you in a place where you've given so much of your time away, the traditional models, right? Where yes, you're growing, you're bringing in more revenue, but you're giving so much of your time away in the process. And that's limiting you, right? So instead, let's talk about creating an online program, creating a way where people can work with you from around the world, where if you need to travel, you need to move someplace, you don't have to restart your business all over again. How many of you feel like if you were to move right now from where you live, you'd have to start everything all over again? It would be very challenging for you. I want to help you untrap yourself from that current limitation that you have in your business model by exploring the online space. Now, for those of you who are teaching online, and are watching this right now, my call to action is, remember that if you transition into online education, it is not simply about doing the same thing that you were doing in person and then doing it online, right? How many of you heard about the COVID trauma, right? So many music teachers had to put themselves online by force during COVID, and teach online lessons for hours and hours and hours, being on Zoom, doing one on one lessons. That is not what I am talking about right now. I want to make that very clear. There's a difference between continuing to use the same broken, archaic models that have trapped musicians forever and simply doing them online with the same dysfunctional model, versus reinventing yourself, reinventing your business, and exploring how you can monetize your knowledge differently and explore ways where people can access that without you having to be face to face with them, whether it's with materials that you can record, whether it's with having group masterclasses in ways where people can leverage your insight in a more of a hot seat fashion where they take turns and you can go in and give them laser coaching, right? Whether it's a combination perhaps of some elements in person, some elements online. But the bottom line is, now it's time to reinvent yourself. You know, this is your moment to start saying, what if I could get my students results without them having to be face to face with me anymore? What if I didn't have to only rely on performances and income through my gigging, but instead I could now have an online program that could help my clients get access to their information that they need to solve their problems, but not at the expense of me having to be face to face with them anymore, or at least as much, right? This is the beginning of a process, right? And I want you to start awakening yourself to the opportunity, because it all starts with that level of awareness, right? And there are many, many ways in which you can build these types of programs. And in fact, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be creating a live 5-day masterclass, which will show musicians how you can create this type of program, an online leveraged model that will allow you not to have to, be in a way trading your time anymore, and be limited to the traditional income streams. This is our Musicians Profit Masterclass. It's our flagship signature masterclass that allows me to guide you directly into how you can build your online program, leveraging it in this way. So you're no longer just depending on the gigging income or the performance income from, or the teaching income from one-on-one lessons, but instead you're able to monetize and document all of your experience and get people results around the world on your own time. So if you're a music teacher and you're struggling to, be with your own family in the afternoon hours when your kids get back from school, and you're having to be working with other kids instead, this masterclass is going to be a great opportunity for you to be able to remove that trap and to be able to actually work during the morning hours if you need to, or at any time that you want, because you're no longer going to be limited to that one-on-one session that has to be Thursdays at 4 o'clock every week. Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you liked today's session and you feel awakened and you're now wanting to be more curious and adventurous around perhaps reinventing your music business, I want to invite you to my Musicians Profit Umbrella Reinvention Masterclass, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in just a couple of weeks, starting March 18th. And this is going to be a free 5-day masterclass session to walk you through every step of the way that has allowed our clients to come in and build incredibly sustainable and profitable business, like our client Renee, who just joined a month ago. And prior to being in this process, prior to working inside our container, she'd been teaching about 10 hours a week. So only part-time teaching, but the most she was able to generate was like 40K a year. And now within 1 month, she was able to reinvent her music business, present a different offer to her students, and create more leverage in the way she worked. And now she's made $25,000 in just 1 month of applying these strategies. So this is something that is happening day in and day out inside our programs. And I want to offer an opportunity for my community to learn firsthand what are these different strategies. So if you want to join me, hop on over to musiciansprofitmasterclass.com. The registration is now available. And I cannot wait to guide you and walk you through how you can reinvent your music business and create different income streams that will give you more freedom and control over your time and improve your quality of life. So thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in our masterclass coming up in a few weeks. Let's talk soon. Let's prosper together.